There was Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo yesterday backing President Biden's claims that Putin and the pandemic are to blame for soaring inflation. She also confirmed that the administration is considering relaxing tariffs on Chinese imports to combat rising prices. Joining me now is Texas Congressman Pat Fallon. He's a member of the House Armed Services Committee and an Air Force veteran. Congressman Fallon, great to see you this morning. The fact is that the national average for gas prices has more than doubled since Joe Biden took office. That's one component of inflation, but it's certainly a crushing one when it comes to people who have to commute to work, and it's certainly one that makes people angry.
Dagan, I agree. And you know what? We can blame Vladimir Putin for a lot of things, but two of the things we can't blame him for are our gas prices and inflation, because and that the data just backs that up. I mean, when Biden came into office, gas cost $2.39 a gallon, and right before the war in Ukraine, it was at $3.44, which was a 44% increase. And then since then, it's gone up to $4.87, which is a 42% increase. So that happened before the invasion. And inflation, when Biden took office, was at like 1.4%. And then it became, before the war, it was at 7.5. So it already had grown astronomically to a 40-year high. And now it's at a little over 8%. So we have to look at Biden and his policies and him injecting trillions of dollars into the economy, which is the real root cause of inflation.
Trillions of dollars. And the American people can't forget and won't forget the fact that they dismissed inflation, and then they acted like it wasn't a problem. And then when they finally realized it was a problem, they've tried to blame anybody else but themselves, and then tried to sell a multi-trillion-dollar spending package on the basis of we need to spend trillions of dollars more to lower inflation. Oh, and that package wasn't going to cost any money. So where do we go from here? In Texas particularly, are you seeing this administration do anything to really court the energy sector and help produce more oil and natural gas in the United States?
Well, that's just it. You know, Dagan, when Joe Biden, when he should act, he does nothing. And then when he finally is forced to, he has to react to situations, he either does, again, nothing or the wrong thing. He declared a war on energy as soon as he got into office. It's kind of ironic that he green-lighted the Nord Stream 2 pipeline for the Russians, but then he killed the Keystone XL pipeline here. And they suspended the oil and natural gas leases on federal lands. They dragged their feet on exports for LNG and natural gas, and they've demonized the industry, Joe Biden and the Democrats. And they haven't done really anything since. It's as if they're not living in the same reality, and they're going to find out what the American people think in November, because I think we're looking at not a red wave, but a red tsunami.
The Interior Secretary Deb Haaland couldn't even admit, and they oversee the leasing for oil and natural gas on federal land. She couldn't even admit that energy prices are too high.
Well, you kind of wonder, is this something they're pleased about because they think that if the gas prices get high enough, people won't use fossil fuels, and therefore it'll somehow, in a warped sense, help the environment. But the fact of the matter is, American energy and its use helps the environment because we have an expertise that has been developed over, really a century, and we have environmental regulations. We have a strong environmental lobby. We have a rule of law and independent judiciary. It's safer for the environment across the globe if we here in America, exploit our natural resources, our liquefied natural gas and oil, as opposed to these dictatorships that don't have any of the aforementioned virtues. And it's much more dangerous for the environment if Russia, China, Venezuela, and Iran are increasing their production. As
the saying goes, the pain is the point to force people into electric vehicles. Remember that giddy little display that Joe Biden had when he was driving that new Ford electric pickup truck? Well, the platinum version of that electric pickup truck is priced like top of the line, close to $100,000. $100,000.
Well, and you know what? Those electric vehicles, so much of it is, it requires those rare earth minerals, and where are most of them found? In China. So again, Biden's policies weaken the United States. I mean, what's our growth this first quarter was like minus 1.4%, but China's was 4.8%. So did the war in Ukraine not affect China? Did it not affect other countries? I mean, their arguments are nonsensical.
Well, the war in Ukraine, China's tried to use it to its advantage, sidling up to Russia in terms of the need for all sorts of natural resources. And then Saudi Arabia has clearly turned its back on the United States and is facing toward China as well. Pat Fallon, Congressman, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thanks. Yeah, God bless.
Be well.